Hi everyone, welcome back to our page. It's Mo, CC on Classic_Man United, and I'm here today with my special friend. He's not a guest, he's a friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's a co-host of this show, Classic_Man United. I'm here today with Dishant. Dish, how have you been?
I've been very good, Mo. First of all, I would apologize to you and everybody that watches the podcast that I have not been very available. But I've been very busy with my university, my
Yeah.
exams, my job. But hey, I'm just very happy to be back, and I'm very happy that the season is finally over. And I
Congratulations,
yeah.
United.
Hell yeah, bring it in, man. FA Cup winners. But thing is, I feel vindicted. I think I, as a fan, deserve this more than anybody.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I've been dying on this Ten Hag in hill, and I've been
From
getting
day
constant
one.
abuse from
It's
everybody.
True. It's true. You deserve
So
it.
I deserve it more than anybody, I would say. You watching that at home, I know you were Ten Hag out.
But you know one thing, yeah, because I'm always around the stadium, like having the conversation with the fans and that kind of thing. I'm not gonna lie, 80% or 85% of the fans are Ten Hag in.
Which is very good, which is what we need.
It's only on the social media, like the pundits and that kind of thing, only on the media stations that you hear like, okay, Ten Hag is not good enough and that kind of thing. But the people on the ground, the fans are like 100% behind Ten Hag,
Which is
solid behind Ten Hag.
Very good. I remember the speech that he gave against after the Brighton game, I think.
Yeah.
Was it Brighton or Newcastle? I can't remember. It was the last home game that we had.
Against Newcastle, I was there,
yeah. And I remember it was such a good speech, and it just showed that this is the manager that we need to back. There's zero managers on the market that I would take above Ten Hag right now.
Yeah.
The only manager that I would probably take, is managers like Carlo Ancelotti, Pep, Zidane, but those guys are not available, so it just makes no sense to me.
It's funny, like we've been linked with managers, the likes of Mauricio Pochettino.
Oh, hell no.
Age 52, he's been in charge of like games 649. He's won 316. Thomas Tuchel, age 50, he's been in charge of games 613 and he's won 351.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Frank, 50 years as well. He's been in charge of 483 games and he's won 218. And Kieran McKinnon is out of the market now because he's extended his contract with
Brighton,
Ipswich.
yeah.
So Kieran McKinnon is out of the
Yeah.
market now. But with all of these managers, yeah, good luck to like a lot of respect to Mauricio Pochettino and Thomas Tuchel. But none of them is good enough compared to Ten Hag. If you ask me, I'm just going to tell you none of them is good enough like Ten Hag. Ask me why. Because Ten Hag has been able to build a team like from the scratch as he did with Ajax.
Yeah.
From the scratch, took them to the highest level, make these players superstars. The likes, you can just name them. Van der Beek, De Jong, just name them. A lot of players. But none of these managers has been able to do that. Even though like Pochettino did something like that with Tottenham before he left. But like, come on. None of them is good enough.
That's very true. And I remember how united the whole fan base was when it was between Pochettino and Ten Hag back in 2022. And the whole fan base wanted Ten Hag. And now, you look at Pochettino's season at Chelsea. Despite spending £1 billion, they've finished just 3 points above Man United, by the way. Yeah. And the only reason they finished above Man United was because we threw away the game at Stamford Bridge. The 4-3 Cole Palmer
the 4-3 game.
It was horrible. Tell me that is on the manager, conceding the last 2 goals that we conceded against Chelsea. How is it the manager's fault? I don't understand.
But Mauricio Pochettino has done well. He did really, really well with Chelsea. I don't know why they let him go.
That is something that surprises me, but I will be very honest. He didn't do very, very well with Chelsea.
With Chelsea, look at where they were before he came in.
They were
like around 12 before he came in.
For majority of the season, they were the same as they were last season.
Yeah.
It was only that towards the end, in Newcastle United fell off, Tottenham fell off, we fell off, Brighton didn't really put any pressure on them. So they got lucky, is what I would say. Full credit to them. They were very good towards the end of the season, but I think it was just... But hey, they're still in the Conference League.
Yeah.
Who's in the Europa League? It's
United,
us, man.
United, we get in there. But it's funny, talking about Chelsea, it's funny. I think they've signed, what's the name, Mariska from Leicester. They've confirmed it like he's a new manager. Do you think he's...
But they're so fast with everything. You look at, they've already signed one of our targets from the Fulham centre-back on a free.
Tosin Adarabioyo from Fulham.
I think INEOS are all chat, all bark and no bite. What do you think about INEOS?
For me, I think like, okay, they are supposed to do things like, because now, for instance, Ten Hag needs to know his future. And a lot of fans, like a lot of people are in turmoil now. Most of us want to know what's the future of Erik Ten Hag now. At least the least they can do is to release a statement, maybe in this week, for that chaos to just cool down. Yeah. Okay, Ten Hag is going to be our manager for next season, or Ten Hag is going to leave. So we all know, okay, this is the direction that we have. But for now, no one knows what's happening now.
Which is true.
I saw Sky Sports reported today that we've been linked with Xavi Hernandez from Barcelona. Again, like, Xavi Hernandez again.
What's the difference between Ten Hag and Javi Hernandez? None. Hernandez is maybe younger. They play a similar, more attacking, more fluid style of football. Without giving him the right players, they're not going to do anything. You look at Barcelona and Man United; they're in such similar positions. We are under no position to get good players, and then we keep changing the manager.
But even Xavi Hernandez, too, if you ask me, he's not a proven winner as a manager. He was a winner as a footballer, but not a manager. He did well with Al Sadd, but since he came to Barcelona, like he's not even managed to win a trophy with them.
Yeah, no, he won the La Liga last season.
He won, yeah. Sorry, my bad. He won the La Liga last season, but after that, they've been struggling. They struggled in Champions League both last season and this season as well.
Yeah, which is true. And again, I think with Xavi, I think he's a very good manager, but I think Barcelona's bigger problems are their structure, just like Man United. That's why I said I think Xavi. I feel really bad for Xavi because I think he was hard done by. He said he's gonna leave, then Barcelona says no, please stay, and then they sack him. And they get Hansi Flick in, who they can't even register yet, which is really funny. But again, I think getting back to Man United, one big thing that has happened with all of this manager instability.
Yeah.
The bigger players in our team want to leave. What do you think of Bruno Fernandes potentially leaving Man United?
No, that's a no-brainer for me. Because which club in their right state of mind would let a player like Bruno Fernandes leave? Do you know we have no player like Bruno Fernandes since Alex Ferguson left?
Yeah.
Just have a look at our last 3 games. Our game against Crystal Palace,
he wasn't there.
Newcastle, and Brighton. We struggle in his absence.
Yeah.
And even with Arsenal as well, the game against Arsenal, we really struggle in the midfield. We lack creativity in the midfield.
True.
The only person that was a little creative was Kobe Mainoo, but he has to come back to help defensively, and he has to be that creative midfielder as well. So if we let Bruno Fernandes go, it's gonna be like a hell of a ride. We might get someone to replace Bruno Fernandes, but it's gonna take a season or two, to get someone to replace Bruno Fernandes.
I think replacing Bruno Fernandes won't be that easy.
No, it's not going to be that easy.
He's a world-class player. He's a very good leader. I don't care what anyone says. He's a very good captain. Plus, how do you replace one of the best signings that we've made over the past 10 years? And what sort of message does it send to Man United fans?
Yeah.
Do you think Man United fans will be happy that we're selling one of the best players that we have?
And even what's the main reason why Bruno Fernandes wants to leave? I don't know because he said that, okay, if the club wants him, he's going to stay. But why is his agent speaking with other clubs like the likes of Bayern Munich and that kind of thing?
I understand why. He's 29. He spent his entire prime in a shit Man United side, which have won barely anything.
Yeah.
And maybe he realizes I only have 2-3 years left in my career.
So let's be honest. So let's put emotions aside here. Do you support him to go and do something for himself, like Robin van Persie did with Arsenal?
Of course not. I mean,
so are we being like Arsenal? Are we being like Arsenal fans?
No. That's the thing. We should not be Arsenal. Our standards should be very high. As Man United, we should be aiming for the Premier League and the Champions League every season. But when a player like Bruno Fernandes' ambition does not get that, how much more patience would you expect from him?
Should we be honest? Should we be patient and be honest with the guy? He's paid his dues to the club.
Absolutely,
he's done what he's supposed. As a player, a player is rated by his accomplishments. Now you cannot. Nasser was he was a phenomenal player, but you cannot compare him to the likes of who should I even compare Samir Nasser with? A Man United player. Let's say Fernandes. Rio Ferdinand has won everything. He won Champions League. Yeah. He won the Premier League. He won the FA Cup trophies. You cannot compare these two.
Yeah.
You cannot compare these two. Like,
absolutely.
Players are measured by their achievements on the pitch, individually and collectively. But
and
collectively, Bruno Fernandes has got nothing. Individually, he's got nothing on club level as well. So if he wants to go to win something, even Harry Kane left Tottenham for the same reason as well.
That's what I'm saying. But we cannot become Spurs. We cannot become Arsenal. We're Man United. And we need to solidify our position as one of the biggest clubs on this planet. And the only way we can do it by supporting players like Bruno Fernandes with more world-class players in the team so we can actually go and compete for the big titles.
Oh, it's sad. Really, really sad. Really, really. I was sad to hear Bruno Fernandes was leaving when I saw the news.
But again, nothing is confirmed. I have one more question
for you. That's another problem. That's another problem with INEOS. Even though the news just broke out today, but at least I'm expecting INEOS to just let the fans know, okay, relax, we've got things under control.
The thing is, even today, Fabrizio Romano says that this week will be very crucial for Ten Hag. This week will be very crucial for the manager situation. What have you been doing for the last 3-4 months?
I think they are cooking.
What have you been doing?
They're cooking. They're working behind closed doors. But the problem is nothing is leaking out. Nothing. No one is getting this. The only thing that really got broke under INEOS since they took over Man United, the only news that I said broke out from that got leaked from the club is about Erik Ten Hag by Jacob Steinberg of the Guardian. I think a day before we played the FA Cup final,
and that backfired.
Okay. That backfired. Yeah.
I think INEOS set up Ten Hag to fail from the very beginning. When they came in first, they didn't give him any backup in January, any signings in January, and then they just let him to die. Imagine if in the middle of the season when they first joined, they just said, we don't care about the results. We don't care about anything. This guy's going to be our manager, or this guy's not going to be our manager, just like Bayern Munich did. That way, we have a lot more clarity. That way, we can actually plan 6 months in advance for this period. I want to ask you a few things. So where's the director of football? Where is he? When is Omar Berada going to start? Who is working on transfer targets? Who are the transfer targets? When are we actually going to begin? When are we actually going to see some fast movement from Man United in the transfer market?
Even this Dan Ashworth thing has been going on for so long.
It's
I
a
don't
circus.
understand. I don't know why it's like this thing is still going on.
It's a circus. It's absolutely horrible.
They should get this thing done before like the Euros maybe kick off or something like that.
Yeah, and even with Dan Ashworth, I'll be very honest. I'm a big skeptic now. The way that they've treated Ten Hag, I am very, very skeptical of INEOS now. If you look at Dan Ashworth's record as the director of football, the managers that he has hired, Gareth Southgate, Graham Potter, and Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
Are these managers that excite you as a Man United fan?
No, probably maybe Eddie Howe, but
no,
like maybe
they don't. And the only man who's been more of an international, more of a Europe-based person in that INEOS team is Blanc, who's been in support of Matt Ten Hag. So which side do you choose? Even in this new ownership structure, there's so much division in their own team.
Yeah.
The thing is, maybe I'm speaking too soon, but I don't see any good proof that I can back and say, you know what, I trust INEOS.
No matter the situation, like INEOS has to like.
They need to make a statement.
Like they need to release a statement today. Like not today, but like maybe in this week before the Euros kick off. Like they have to let the manager know. Because to be fair with the manager, you have to let him know, okay, you are staying or you are not staying. So he has to work on something if he's gonna move on or he's gonna keep on hanging on.
Yeah, which is true.
Yeah. Talking about like transfers, Jadon Sancho, we also saw the Champions League final.
Very good.
And the season is over, officially over for Sancho at Dortmund.
He didn't.
Would you want him back at Old Trafford?
Absolutely not. He can.
Because I saw something on Sky today again that was saying like Sancho would want to come back to Old Trafford only if Ten Hag leaves the club.
And that is
He's not
a horrible mindset to have. His mindset should be, Man United is the club that I chose to play for. I'm going to go back, work hard, train, apologize, and I'm going to make sure that I give the fans what I owe them. That's what your mindset should be.
But I think the whole situation has been mishandled. Like he hasn't handled.
Absolutely not.
The situation hasn't been handled properly. Because Mourinho said the same thing. I don't know if you watched Mourinho's interview. That saying like, okay,
look at how Mourinho treated Martial. Look at how he treated Luke Shaw.
Yeah, but he admitted that he made mistakes. He didn't handle some players properly. Mourinho admitted that, and he said probably maybe the manager is getting it wrong at the same time as well.
I think Mourinho did the same with Dele Alli.
And yeah, he did the same with Dele Alli as well.
He gave Dele Alli all the support that he needed, but then he realized that Dele Alli is no good, so he told him to F off. That's the same that Ten Hag did. Ten Hag gave Jadon Sancho in a very busy season, 3 months off, by the way. He gave him all the time away from the limelight. You remember when Jadon Sancho came back, how happy the whole Old Trafford crowd was, how supportive everyone was with him. And then we have a good season, we finished with a trophy, and then the only thing that Ten Hag said was, I was not happy with Jadon Sancho's training levels, that is why I did not pick him. What is so wrong in that? Who made the situation worse? It was Jadon Sancho who made the situation worse by coming out and calling his manager and the fans liars.
Yeah.
I think... And you know why Jadon Sancho does not want to apologize, apparently? That's because he, again, with his roadman, with his mandem, he doesn't want to look like a weak character. Why does he care? He's a multi-millionaire, man. You're making so much money and you owe the fans more than you owe your friends.
But I don't think his absence has affected Marcus Rashford like psychologically. Do you think Sancho's situation has affected Rashford?
We don't care. Rashford, this isn't your school where you come and play with your friends. Rashford, grow play with his team. The thing is, you know what? I am so upset that Rashford is not on that plane for the Euros. I wanted Rashford to go to Germany and.
But I don't think he deserves.
Everybody.
No, for me, I'm gonna be honest. As a United fan, I support Rashford 100%. But hey, let's be honest. Rashford does not deserve a place in that squad.
I think
like you have Kopama, you have Saka, you have Foden on the wing. So will you choose Rashford?
I think Rashford gives them an X factor that nobody else in the.
But even do not forget the previous Euros, he was on the bench. He just comes off the bench. He didn't.
But
start.
then he was the top scorer for them in the World Cup. He was one of the best players in the World Cup.
Yeah, the World Cup was ages ago. But the most recent Euros, remember, the most recent Euros, like he was coming from the bench. Sorry.
Excuse me. Yeah, but again, now it's not my decision. Yeah, I feel bad for him. But now that Marcus Rashford is not going to the Euros, he's off social media now. Yeah. I hope he takes that time off. He goes to nice warm weather countries. He warms up. He does what he did last season. You remember when he had gone and he was doing individual programs.
Yeah.
I hope he does that, comes back and becomes a player that we all know that he can be. And he was last season.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the same. Who was the manager when he was getting 40 goals last season?
Erik
Ten Hag. So he knows that he has a good manager there. He knows that he has good players there. And hopefully this INEOS regime does something and guess us at least 5 good players. Not more world-class players, but 5 good players who can potentially develop. That's all we need.
Yeah. So when did you realize our season was over? Like, when did you realize like this season is gonna be like?
I'm a delusional fan. Till the very last game, I had hopes that we may be able to get something, and I'm very happy that I was proven right. That we again, start of the season, if you told me we were gonna finish 8th and we only win the FA Cup, I would have told them something must have gone very wrong in that season, and something did go wrong in this season. Again, I was not very happy with how this season went, but I am calm as a person. I can understand and analyze why this happened.
Nah.
First, I think this is the worst injury crisis that any team has ever had in the Premier League.
We've had 45 injuries this season, and Chelsea second. They had 43 injuries this season.
And in terms of recurring injuries, if you include recurring injuries, we've had 67 injuries. 67. That's 3 times your total playing squad. And very unfortunate for us, it was our better players who got injured. Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, Varane, Luke Shaw, even Bruno towards the end, even Fernandes. And you look at, we missed Rasmus Højlund 3 times this season. We got injured 3 times this season. So I understand why we had such a bad season. It could have been better. I really hope that Ten Hag opened his eyes sooner, maybe 10 games before the Premier League season ended. He should have tried being a bit more defensive like we were in the last 3-4 games. If he would have done that, I'm pretty sure we would finish 6th or 5th at least.
So talking about Casemiro, today a news broke out like he has been linked with Al Nassr. With about 75 to 85 million pounds.
It's not happening. He's definitely going, but we're not getting 75 or 80 million.
Bro, do you know how much they paid for Koulibaly?
I know,
Koulibaly, Edward Mendy.
I remember
Chelsea made a lot of money from
I understand.
the Saudi Pro League last season.
But the thing is, we're Man United, and we're so shit at selling players, and we're so shit at selling even good players.
That's our problem. I totally agree with you.
I would be surprised if we can get even 40 million for Casemiro.
But if we have a good selling team, we should make a lot of money this summer because we have a lot of players that are leaving. We have Donny van de Beek, that should be going.
Yeah.
We have Casemiro, that should be going. We have Fakunde Pellistri. Alvaro Fernandez has already left.
He left.
He left already.
Yeah.
And then who else?
I think if you go through the squad, there's so many players that need selling.
Yeah, but the players that their contracts will be finished and will be expiring this summer is Sofiane Amrabat. He came on loan. I don't know if United want to keep him. Rafael Varane, he's left.
I love that guy.
Anthony Martial is left. Brandon Williams, he spent the whole of last season at Ipswich. I don't know if United want him back. John Evans, I don't know. John Evans, I don't think he contributed like he did so well for the club when he came.
So good this
season. One season he did so well, but like his contract is just 1 year in the end of the summer. And Tom Hayton, I don't think like he's even needed around the club. Yeah. So like these people are officially.
Even if you get rid of all these players, there are so many more players that I want the club to get rid of.
But the problem is you cannot get rid of about 10, 15 players unless you want to do like what Chelsea did last season.
I think we should do what Chelsea
did last season. Can we do that?
Season.
I think the only time we did that was under Luis Van Gaal.
That's my problem with INEOS.
Was the only manager that did that.
They all bark and no bite. That's my problem with INEOS. They said, oh, we're going to put Manchester back in Manchester United. We're going to make sure that Man United is one of the best teams in the world. Show us. Please, show us how.
Right, I think giving him some time. I don't know. I have a lot of faith in INEOS. I don't know why, but I think I have a lot of faith. Like I'm getting a lot of faith.
As long as the Glazers are there, I have zero faith in anybody coming in.
Nah, the Glazers, like I don't know what they're still doing around the club here. But now I believe, like looking at the people that are coming in, having Jason Wilcox in, I've seen and read online that he's doing some moves here and there, like just to get the people in. We've been linked with a couple of players, like Toysin from Fulham. I don't know. We were linked with this guy. I think before the season even ended, but I've seen him like going to do his medical at Chelsea. This week.
We can't even secure a free transfer. That's how
he's
bad
a free agent.
Yeah,
we should have even secured that one long ago.
All we had to do was call his agent and say, "Hey, we're Man United," and he would have joined. That's all we needed to do.
Yeah, we should have done that. But I don't know how come Chelsea like overtook us because which player would
you know what they're still doing?
Chelsea over United.
We don't know who the manager is yet, so we can't really sign players for anybody. Didn't they say we were going to sign players for the club instead of the manager?
If you cannot sign like this kind of players in the Premier League, this young talented players in the Premier League, because if you want to go for a world class players, you want to go to a club that's going to offer Champions League. Like Bruno Fernandes is leaving. I think one of the reasons why Bruno Fernandes is leaving is he cannot afford to play another European football next season. He wants to play in the Champions League.
That's true.
Since he came to United, he's been missing out for Champions League for a couple of years, and I think like is that enough? Imagine he's still at United and he gets to the age of 30 years. United will definitely push him under the bus. He's going to be, his contract will expand at 2026. So he's got 2 years, two seasons left. And even now, people were talking like Bruno Fernandes is not good enough. He's not a good captain. So
And the thing is, if Bruno Fernandes, let's say he stays this season, but next season he sees things haven't changed, and there's only 1 year, left on his contract, we will have to sell him for a very cheap price. So let's say Al Nassr, I think I read this today, that they want to try and persuade Man United by paying us 128 million for Bruno Fernandes, which I think is a lot less than what I would take for him.
28
A
million.
player like Bruno Fernandes,
would you take that money?
80 million minimum. we can talk then.
But if we take that money, we can get good players like to replace
180
him.
million. If you get 180 million for Bruno Fernandes, would you take it? Is my question.
I'll take it.
You would take it.
I'll take it. You remember Liverpool did the same with Filippo Coutinho?
Yeah.
When Klopp came in, Coutinho was their top
that's a very good
playmaker.
example, Mo. Yeah, I like that.
Coutinho was their top playmaker, and they got rid of him. They didn't get rid of him because they needed money. They needed to raise money, and then they brought in a lot of signing, like good signings to replace Coutinho.
Van Dijk, Alisson.
Yeah, they brought from that money. They made a lot. They made a lot of investment.
I think 180 million is a price that I would be like, you know what, Bruno, I love you.
Imagine we get that 180. Which players will you bring in? You have the chance to bring 5 players from that Bruno's 180.
Michael Olise. I will definitely. Then we need a Bruno Fernandes replacement. So I would try and get Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen. You know, he's a good player, similar style player, and then definitely go for a experienced striker. I'm not really
with the strikers. I've got a couple of. I think I did a research about like strikers that we were linked to, like by rumor. I don't know. I don't know how good they are and how true that is, but
that's why I don't really want to talk about signings yet because
we have Guerresi from Bundesliga Stuttgart. He played 28 games this season and he scored 28 goals with 2 assists.
Wow, that's
and then
impressive.
we have Cunha from Wolves. This season he played he played 32 games, scored 12 goals and 7 assists. And then Ivan Toney, 28 years. He played 17 games this season, 4 goals and 2 assists. And then we have Sesko from Leipzig. He played 31 games and 14 goals as well.
I would probably go all in for Ollie Watkins.
Ollie Watkins,
yeah. Why not? He's a very good player.
But don't forget, Newcastle also have to sell like Isak and probably maybe Gomez.
Isak is so good. He's so good. But then I think even same with Watkins as well. Then what happens with Højlund if you actually get a first choice?
But we need to get a backup striker for Højlund. He's good, but I'm not going to rely on Rasmus Højlund for a whole season.
Will these players be backups though? You know, would you have an honest conversation with Højlund and say, you know what, you played a lot more than we expected you to play in the first season because Tony Martial decided to take the entire year off. We're very sorry for that. But we're going to bring in a better striker. Will you be happy with being on the bench?
I think that has always been the conversation, that even before we signed Rasmus Højlund in, the conversation was we were going to sign a senior striker, someone with experience, and then we sign Rasmus Højlund to be someone that will be nurtured, someone who will be mentored by the senior striker. That has always been the conversation with Harry Kane and Rasmus Højlund. Then we got Højlund, but we couldn't get Harry Kane. So bringing someone...
If that's the case, then I think Ivan Toney makes a lot of sense to me.
Ivan Toney is 28 years.
Yeah. He's 8 years older than Højlund, and he's a proven player. And I think Ivan Toney coming from Brentford may not have such a big ego. He is a very egoistic person, but maybe we can pipe him down and say, hey, this is Man United, this is not Brentford. So there will be games where you will not be starting. But again, I think at the end of the day, I really want what's best for Man United, and I think we should go and try and get best for what is best for Man United and not what is best for Rasmus Højlund. I love Højlund, but this is more about the club than him.
And for me, out of that 180 of Bruno Fernandes, if that's going to happen from Al Nassr, I don't think he's going to go to Al Nassr anyway. Or if you're going to get 180, do you think Newcastle will take 75 million for Isak?
No.
They're not going to take 75 million?
Not from us. They hate Man United and they're not going to take
money.
But
because of financial fair play, for them to bring in more players, they need to get rid of some players. Unless maybe they want to get 115 charges like Man City as well.
I hope so. But I don't know. I don't really know what will happen. My mood's changed. I was very optimistic when INEOS first came in. Now I am a bit skeptical, and I just want clarity over the manager situation first, like most people do. I think once we know who the manager is going to be, I think that is when we're going to see a lot more progress, in my opinion.
And we've been linked with Chalobah. Chalobah of Chelsea. Is he good?
I think it's good.
Would he be a good replacement for Varane? Because he's been linked for United because of Varane.
He'll be a good replacement for players like Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. If you get rid of one of Victor Lindelof or Harry Maguire, then go for Trevoh Chalobah. He's a player who can very easily fill in a spot for either one of them.
Either one of them, yeah.
But if you need a player who's as good as Varane, or he can be as good as Varane, there's only two players, I think. Todibo, and who's the Jeremy guy? What's his name? Jeremy from Lille?
Leny, yeah.
Yeah.
Leny, 18 years.
Yeah, I think those are the sort of players that we should be looking at if you want to actually replace.
We've been linked with a couple
Rafael
of like
Varane.
centre-backs, 4 centre-backs. Ousmane Diomande, 20 years, Ivorian footballer, playing for Sporting Lisbon. And then we have this Leny as well. And then we have Todibo. And then we have Chalobah, four centre-backs.
I think Chalobah is the least exciting.
I don't know, with INEOS, yeah, with these 4 players, I bet you will not even get one of them. None of them will even come to United.
Thing is, with INEOS as our owners, if we can't get Todibo in, it's a shame, isn't it? They own Todibo.
They own
All they need to do is just make a few moments in the books, and they can literally give us Todibo if they wanted us for as cheap as 35 million.
No. Yeah.
But it just depends. I think you know what, again, more, I have zero trust in these guys, man. I'm really sorry for anybody that's watching and anybody that's
just
getting
give them some
angry
time.
at
They
me.
just came in January.
I am sorry, but I'm very
already.
skeptic. I'm very skeptical.
So
I just don't trust anybody.
So before we wrap up, I'm gonna ask you something.
Yeah.
Carlo Ancelotti, he won the Champions League with Real Madrid most recently.
Yeah.
Do you consider him to be the greatest manager of all time?
No, absolutely no way. There is the only manager that can be the greatest of all time is Sir Alex Ferguson. And honestly, I am not saying this as a Man United fan. He is the only manager to win the Scottish League title with Aberdeen. He's the only manager to win a Scottish League title.
Let's look at their achievement, like their records, the titles that they've won. Ancelotti have won 5 Champions League, and then Sir Alex Ferguson has won. Sir Alex has won. Let me see.
2.
Yeah, 2 Champions League. And then with the trophies, like a lot, Ancelotti has had a lot of trophies. He's won 3 FA Cup, 3 FIFA Club World Cup, and then he's won 1 English Championship with Chelsea, and then he's won 1 German Cup. He's won 2 Spanish champions, and then he's won 1 Italian championship as well, with 1 French championship with Paris Saint-Germain, 4 UEFA Super Cup winner, and then 1 English FA Cup with Chelsea as well, 2 Spanish Cup as well with Real Madrid, and then 1 Italian Cup as well. And then let's have a look at Sir Alex Ferguson. Yes, Sir Alex Ferguson has won 2 Champions League with Champions League with Man United, 1 FIFA Club World Cup winner, 13 English Championship, all with United. That's so good to read out. And 2 UEFA Super Cup winner.
Yeah.
And then he's won 5 English FA Cup, 4 English Premier League winner, and then 10 English Super Cup winner, 3 Scottish Championship, and then 4 Scottish Cup winner as well. So with 1 Scottish League Cup winner as well.
The thing is, if you just look at overall trophies, I think Sir Alex has about 45 trophies.
Yeah.
And I think Carlo Ancelotti has maybe about 30 or something.
But do you rate Carlo Ancelotti to be that guy? You think like...
I think Carlo Ancelotti now is definitely top 3. Top 3.
Is he better than Pep?
Yeah.
Carlo Ancelotti is better than Pep.
He's beaten him twice in very big games. So yeah, I would say yeah.
This conversation has been going on. I've been seeing this conversation, like people trying to like compare Carlo Ancelotti with the likes of Pep Guardiola and Sir Alex Ferguson, and it's like mind blowing.
If you think Pep Guardiola would ever go to Everton? Ever? No.
To Everton?
He would ever go to a club like a mid-table club? No. Carlo Ancelotti did it. He wasn't successful, but he tried. He's a man with balls, and Pep Guardiola has no balls. So yeah, Carlo for me.
Yeah, Carlo Ancelotti. Yeah, he is that guy. Like
he is the guy. Yeah, he's him.
He's that guy. Like a lot of people are like, no, Carlo Ancelotti is the man now. He's the man now. Looking at like what he's been able to do with Real Madrid and that kind of thing.
Miraculous.
It's been a good season. Imagine them having Mbappe as well. Having the likes of Mbappe, Vinicius, Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo.
I'm gonna say this very controversial statement right now. Real Madrid are gonna be worse next season than they are this season. I think Mbappe joining that team ruins the whole dynamic.
Are you sure of that, bro?
Yeah, he goes there. He wants to be the Billy Big Bollocks guy, but there's players who are not much better, but who have already solidified the legacy at Madrid, like Vinicius, Rodrigo. When Mbappe he will want to be the guy at Madrid, and I think that's going to cause problems. In my opinion, I think it won't be as good as people think it's going to be.
Mbappe.
He's very good. Again,
Mbappe, bro.
Then you would ask Vinicius to be on the side. Then I think.
For me, I see Mbappe to be like an icing sugar for Real Madrid. Like
could be.
That's that little thing they need on top.
Could be
just to finish everything, to finish the work. They need that little cherry on top, and Mbappe is that.
Egos ruin dressing rooms, and I think that will be a problem. Just in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I think that's what's going to happen. Egos are going to ruin that dressing room.
Yeah. Okay, so our time is up. We're just wrapping up now. Thank you so much for staying tuned. And thank you so much for watching. I'm here with my friend Dish. You can follow him on Instagram at Dish, and just give out Instagram.
I think it's Dish United 7. Or you can follow my private account if you wanted to.
The private, yeah, just send private DM. Yeah. For going after INEOS, just send private DMs. Yeah, it's been an interesting conversation. It's been a long season. Hey, but we are excited. I'm looking forward to the Euros. I can't wait for the Euros to kick off.
Who do you want the Euros? Who do you want Euro?
Obviously, I want England to win, but you can't rule out. You can't rule out. You can't rule out towards the name Portugal and France.
Yeah, I want Cristiano to win. Simple as that. Especially with him crying. Yeah. I just want Cristiano to win. He's my boy. I want Ronaldo to win.
Ronaldo to win. Yeah, I want Ronaldo to win as well. United, you know, I would want Ronaldo to win as well. But hey, don't forget, when England wins, it's gonna be an interesting one. I just hope England will win. That's what I hope for. I want England to win.
Yeah, why not?
You never know.
Anyways,
okay. Peace out. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Again, we're gonna come back next week Wednesday. So we see you and we bring all the updates, all the transfer updates about United and what's going on with INEOS, who is leaving, who is coming. Stay tuned. We'll keep you updated. Peace out. Bye.